This is one of the new designs for the calendar. This actually has 7 days instead of 10 days in a row. And this lets you see the Sabbath off to the right here, as well as some of the feast days, which would have to be explained a little bit here, but you have the first of the month in 3 different spots, and the colors correspond with 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th is going to be one pattern, and then the second month, 5th, 8th, 11th, so forth is second pattern, then third pattern. So you start off with your year starting off on a Wednesday, so the middle of the week, and then the next month it's going to start off on a Friday, and the next month it's going to start off on a Sunday. You also have 7 pegs down at the bottom now for the 7 years in a 7-year cycle, so like the Shemitah cycle, and then 7 of those for a Jubilee cycle. This up here is something that I added. That's from the curse tablet, which says Yahoo, actually reading this way instead of that way. There's no reason for the colors that we're going through. It's just a design I was playing around with as well. But with this, you get to see some of these are the first fruits right here. So you can actually see all 4 first fruit go in a row in this calendar. So you start seeing some interesting patterns. There's some interesting patterns on the 10-day calendar as well. This is one of those that I'm redoing. So I have at the top, this is Holy to Yahuwah right here. So with the same pattern of the blue, purple, red. So that is read this way. And I have different types of Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew, Sinaitic Hebrew, what have you, Masoretic Hebrew that I can do at the top. And then these are the patterns of the feast days with different shapes for different reasons here. And then you have these dots for different numbers, so they're not confused with the other numbers, which are the day of the week. So 1, 10, 15, 21, and 30 are the days of the week. And this time I have that 31st day separated with red text around it, so you can know that it's only for the every 3rd month. So the 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 12th month. So I have all 12 months over here instead of having 3 months and 4 seasons. This one shows a separate peg for the years in a 7-year cycle, and then the weeks of years in a Jubilee, which needs to be separated. I'm not sure why it was one row on the other. This is another option I have. You'll see some of the design kind of change a little bit here, but this says Yahuwah, and then it says the long version of Yahusha or Yahushua, which I chose this just because it has 4 letters and then it has 6 letters, which I found interesting when you correlate with the 10 Commandments. This is one of the ones where I had numbers instead of like the dice dots, which to me seemed a little bit less confusing to have it this instead of have it this way. Even if I had colors on, then it still seems like too many numbers over there. So, and you'll see this, I have separate numbers, so I combine those later on and just have the numbers in the middle and then the 2 rows of pegs at the bottom, and then just years and weeks. The reason for the lines are actually for feast days. So that blue line over there from 15 to 21 is for unleavened bread and tabernacles, because they fall at the same time. That 7-day pattern is on the same time. It falls on the same pattern, so they both start on the 15th. And then the red line is actually for the 6 days of the wood offering, so I even have that on there. And then those odd little shapes with the little point on them are for the first fruits, the 4 first fruits. And then you have your Saturdays are marked. So this does not have all of the feast days marked. So just the 7-day pattern and then that 6-day, and that's it. So that's just to kind of give you a clue on where you're at, or maybe see a pattern in it. I may change the 6-day one. The 7-day one is most notable, so I might just keep that one. I'm not too sure yet. As for the script on top, I have a few different fonts, but I think I actually need to make my own. I might have to end up making my own font for some of these, just because I can't seem to find certain fonts that I like. So I might look into doing that, or just manually make them myself. And ones that are a little less wavy and shaky and maybe a little bit more printable. You can see how kind of wavy some of that font is, so I might end up having to make a little bit more straight and square type of font. I may end up doing something a little different with the back, but still have it to where you can hang it up. Something that's going to take a lot less plastic. It'll be a little lighter and cheaper to make, and hopefully a little cheaper to ship. I'm also thinking about having printable pegs for this instead of the wood pegs that I was using before. It's cheap and easy and durable, but I might have maybe different colored pegs or something like that. But let me know what you think of these designs overall, and if you'd like to have some yourself. I just got all 3 color plastics in. I'm not too happy about the purple that I got, but it's a little bright and not as deep and vibrant as I'd like. It's kind of hard to find a good PLA purple that is suitable for this. But I'm still working on making this printable right now, and like I said, I might have to work on the fonts, find something that works a little better, maybe a little bit more clear. And I'm still working on how I want to hollow this out, or how thick I really want it. Because before it was getting pretty thick and pretty heavy, especially with all the internal support or the infill. It was only 100 or 110 grams, but that was a little much for me. I would like to keep it somewhere near 70 or even 50 if I can. I'm thinking about even making some smaller versions of these, some even like travel size ones, because I have a smaller nozzle as well now, so I can actually make it half the size. So not sure how that would work exactly, but just going through a few different ideas. This is just to familiarize yourself with the Zadok calendar. Whether you want to follow it or not, just to familiarize yourself with it, to see if you like the patterns that are in it, or see if you like how it corresponds with scripture, or however.